All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here for Wednesday, October the 15th. We've got more college football on tap, another big MLB playoff game today with Toronto and Seattle this evening. They continue that series, and we've got a four-game NHL slate. Won't be spending much time with you here tonight, but it'll be an enjoyable time, I'm sure, here as we take a look at the action here for Wednesday and take a look at some of the action from Tuesday as well. We brought you some winners here on the show yesterday. We certainly had some exciting games, that's for sure, especially with Major League Baseball and the Dodgers. I don't know if it was exciting, but it was a good pitchers duel for quite a while here on Tuesday as the Dodgers continued to take command of the series over Milwaukee 5-1 in game number 2. Yoshi Yamamoto gave up a first pitch home run to Churio, and that was pretty much it. He threw a complete game three-hitter. Muncy, Teoscar, Goyard, Hernandez dominating the postseason. Ohtani, an RBI single. Off day here on Wednesday. The series resumes on Thursday. It'll be Tyler Glass now going for the Dodgers in that one, and we'll see, what Milwaukee has in store in that game come Thursday with their backs kind of to the wall. Still got 2 games to go for the Dodgers, and they're not making it very interesting. The Dodgers are starters are 6-1 so far in the playoffs with a 1.65 ERA, and Blake Snell, Yamamoto, whoever they throw out there. I mean, we've got a bullpen with Clayton Kershaw in it, so Dodgers have plenty of reserves, it feels like, and for all their woes that happened, right, when you were talking about maybe the grind of the regular season, when the depth of a team can sometimes be challenged, all the stars are out for the Dodgers against Milwaukee. All right, also, we'll take a look at today's game here in the American League with Toronto and Seattle, game number 3, with the Mariners leading 2-0. 25 of the last 28 seven-game series leaders who have taken a 2-0 lead on the road have gone on to win that series. It's about an 85, 86. Should know my math a little better, but I'm losing my mind. Still a dominant situation here for the Mariners, leading 2-0, and we'll see with Kirby and Bieber. The Blue Jays have basically 4 runs and 8 hits and 18 innings in the series so far against Seattle, so they'll be up against it. But the good news is they travel well. Fans from all parts of Canada like to travel to Seattle. Even in today's environment, they might show up for this one to try to get the Blue Jays back on track in the series after the off day on Tuesday. We'll talk about that one as well. We say hello to anyone with me in the chat. Victor. Hi, Victor. It's me and Victor hanging out here on Night Moves. Got a couple dozen of you in here, so we'll get ready in just a moment maybe to start the previews. And I'm happy and proud that you're joining me here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. You can go to Tony'sPicks.com and check out our premium picks over at Tony's Picks. Absolutely our best bets every day are at Tony's Picks, myself and a team of handicappers over there bringing you our top selections every day at Tony's Picks. You can check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot, and then get signed up. I've been rolling with my prop picks, but this morning I've got a 3-pack of tennis action, of tennis winners hopefully going on. Look at the last 7 days. Everybody but me is on this list, it feels like here, with some of our hot cappers. Alessandro's up there, up 5 units over the last 7 days. Higgs is up nearly 4 units. Our man DeAndre up over 3.5 units over the last 7 days as well. Brian Palmer doing well. There's Millsy up there. Al Ninos is up there as well. So, hey, there's DeAndre's best bet. Why not check out DeAndre here for Wednesday? Looks like he's got his best bet there in college football for the action here. And like I said, check me out as well. I've got some tennis plays going up. See Rod in there with a best bet tomorrow in the NHL. We'll recap the NHL as well here in just a moment. Got a pretty exciting day of action. Tony T's best bet for the baseball action is up there as well. So check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Look at, and also the great articles up there from our crew as well. You know, we're not just about just the picks. I mean, you look at some, you already have these UFC previews up here as well, from Hilbert up there with all this action here for Saturday. I will note that Saturday's UFC card, it's in Vancouver. It does start a little bit early at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific, and it's tapped off with that main event with Rainer DeRitter and Brendan Allen here this week up there in Vancouver. I'll have picks in there for sure. There's my picks for tennis today. Check it out over at Tony's Picks. It gets underway here if you're watching me live in about 2 hours. I got 3 overnight plays in ATP action. You know, the one thing you're going to find from me over at Tony's Picks when I get pick these tennis plays, you're not going to get any big giant favorites from me when you go in there. You're going to get, I basically pick the closest rated matches with my tennis picks over at Tony'sPicks.com. I'm watching the ladies action here right now, as a matter of fact, but Osaka's been dominating here in this last set, but she needs an injury timeout up 5-0 in the third set. So a little bit awkward there. Anyway, check us out. They're over at Tony'sPicks.com. You can click on the Premium Picks tab and see all the picks lined up here, including our leaderboards over there. And also, if you click the upcoming tab, like you just saw, all the latest games in chronological order there from the cappers each and every day. Make it really easy for you as well. So check it out over there at Tony'sPicks.com. All right, appreciate you listening to that. And we're going to get going here with the action. Want to say hello to the chat, and nice to see you. Ooh, nice to see you. I don't know, the avatar is the name there, but great to have another someone chatting with me. Looks like I might be hard-pressed to find someone to handicap with me here on the show today, even in the chat room, but that's okay. I got a whole show lined up for you here this morning. So let's get rolling here a little bit. I wanted to thank yesterday DeAndre for bringing us a bunch of winners yesterday in the NBA. He gave us Milwaukee over OKC, gave us New Orleans. Well, these are plus the points there. I think Milwaukee actually lost by 4, but DeAndre gave it to us plus 4.5. They actually were getting 6 by game time, and they lost by 4. So we had the winner there with DeAndre, and I gave out the under in that game on the show yesterday. DeAndre and I also swept the Houston-New Orleans game, as DeAndre gave us New Orleans there in the same situation. It went from 4.5 to 6.5 in a 2-point win for Houston. So DeAndre gave us the Pelicans in that one. I said go over in that one yesterday, so we kind of had a double winner there. DeAndre also gave us Denver. Oh, they covered, last night when we were on the show, they were laying 8.5, but it clearly went down to as low as 5.5 or 6. I hope you got the right line there. In fact, last night's show, it was 5, as a matter of fact, when we were on with DeAndre. So that's why I marked it a winner. DeAndre had the winner there with us yesterday here on the show. And just a short time ago, as DeAndre had it, as well as I gave out the total, the winner on the total, he said, take the Phoenix Suns there. And I said go under, and it was 113-104. Lakers led by 7, I think, at halftime with everybody's talking about Luka in there, and he played some in the first half, and the Lakers were definitely covering. But it was all Phoenix kind of there in the second half. So he gave us those winners. Hey, I brought us some winners on Night Moves yesterday as well. In the NHL, we had Washington. We had the over with Seattle and Montreal. And we had also the over with Minnesota and Dallas. And we had Carolina on the puck line. College football yesterday, DeAndre and I brought it home with the Arkansas State-South Alabama game. We swept that one. DeAndre said take Arkansas State in the game, and they won on a last-second field goal, 15-14, after South Alabama could have actually put it away, got as close as inside the 10, then a penalty, and they didn't score out of that drive, and Arkansas State went down the field and got it done for a 15-14 win. DeAndre said take the points, and I said go under. Final was 15-14. Great job. All right. Also, Kendrick, nice to have Kendrick here. He likes the Blue Jays, maybe to get back in it. And that should be, yeah. Thank you, Kendrick, for being here. Get ready with the show now. I think you guys, we don't really have a long show to go over. So that was pretty much a recap of the day's action from yesterday. I think we'll get right into it now. You guys have been patient. Just want to get a few more folks in here and make sure we get some live views on the show. So really appreciate you joining me here. All right, I'm going to move on here. Also, United States won over Australia in international friendly. It's World Cup qualifying. We saw England go through today. Qatar went through as well today, and I believe it was Saudi Arabia. Okay, let's get into the action here with the Blue Jays. Taking on the Mariners here. We just talked about it with Bieber going up here against Kirby in this one. And hey, we keep saying this is why you've got Bieber in here for the Blue Jays, but it's not like Seattle's going to be in there with any chopped liver in this one with Kirby going. Shane Bieber, 3.77 ERA, 4-2 record, 109 whip, 238 batting average against for Kirby here. Comes in with a 10-8 record, 4.1 ERA, 1.17 whip, 251 batting average against, and a 318 BABIP. It hasn't been that awesome for Kirby since coming back this season. I mean, I say back, he had 25 starts. Bieber only had 8 starts, of course, with a late debut to his season as well. So maybe these two aren't really what we've seen in years past, but Bieber was expected to come in here and make some big contributions, actually, for Toronto late in the season. Checking the head-to-heads here for tomorrow. Do have a few for sure in this one with some pretty nice numbers here. J.P. Crawford, 6 for 12 against Shane Bieber. Meanwhile, Santander, he's 6 for 15 against Kirby with 2 home runs. Springer, 3 for 8 with an extra base hit here. And on the flip side, do have some of these guys. You got Garver here, 3 for 21 against Bieber. J-Rod, 1 for 9 against Bieber. Cal Raleigh, 2 for 8 against Bieber. Arozarena, 0 for 5 against Bieber. But both these guys have pretty excellent numbers against the expected starting lineup. In fact, Bieber allows just a 236 average to this group, and 25 hits and 106 at-bats with just one home run. Meanwhile, for Kirby, 20 hits and 68 at-bats against this crew with just one walk and 68 at-bats. For Kirby, we know that's his specialty. Doesn't really walk. Actually, his walks, were a little bit up this season, but by the end, they still finished at 4.6 walks for, 5.3 walks for Kirby, 4.6 walks for Bieber. So, yeah, these guys are definitely pretty solid as far as that's concerned. So you can pass along your picks if you'd like in the chat as well for the big game tomorrow between Toronto and Seattle. Man, so, got to think Seattle right here, 2-0 lead. Going home right now, 2 decent pitchers in a pitcher's ballpark here. Although, I don't know what's going under there, but let's see what you got in this one. As man, these Seattle playoff games so far have been very low scoring at home. Let's face it. All right, nothing from you guys in the chat, so I'll just go ahead and make the play here. I think the momentum's a little bit too much right now for the Toronto Blue Jays to recover, and I'm going to take the Seattle Mariners actually here in this one on Night Moves. Yeah, I got to lay $1.35 or so. I know that you can search it out, probably find a little bit better price here. I'm showing, let's see, where can I find a better price, if any? No, $1.30 is about $1.30 is about the lowest that I see out there at some of the books. I think consensus-wise, you're looking at about $1.35 right now, and I want to take the Mariners here in this one to keep it going. I hope Toronto can extend this series. Maybe not this game if I'm going to take the M's, but a little bit rough to lose those first 2 games at home. The Seattle Bats kind of came through there, and we'll see here if Bieber can have a hot start. But Toronto struggling with the bats here right now, but the Mariners haven't hit very well at home either. Could come down to a very low scoring game. Hopefully we won't see 15 innings again, but we might get down to the end with just a very low score and a tie game in the 2-2 range. Seems very plausible here in this one. So I'm going to take Seattle here on Wednesday in game number 3 of the American League Championship Series. All right, we got a couple of football games here, man. As Osaka, that injury might be bothering her. 5-2 now all of a sudden in this match. They're playing in Osaka. I mean, she's got to win the whole tournament. All right, let's take a look at college football here. 2 games actually going on Wednesday night. We saw some action on Tuesday night. We mentioned the game that DeAndre and I swept. There were 2 other games as well with New Mexico State and Liberty yesterday. We had a pretty good finish in that one. Liberty won it 30-27. A missed field goal as time expired allowed Liberty to escape with the win. Far from covering 10 points, but it did go well over. And then Florida International stunned Western Kentucky 25-6, holding the Toppers well under their season average here right now. And the 10-point favorite loses by 19 points as Florida International gets the win over Western Kentucky. All right, let's take a look at the 2 games here for the action on Wednesday with the Delaware and Jacksonville State at Amherst Stadium here. Delaware, a 3-point favorite on the road. The total 57. This has been kind of a whirlwind season here for Delaware. They've been good when they were an FCS team, and there were high hopes to come in and perform well, but there had been some struggles. But right now, Delaware looks pretty good, even though they've lost here in the 2-12 straight up on the road. Their last 14 games does have to raise some concerns, but they've been established as a 3-point favorite, so there's got to be a little something to that, if you know what I mean, as far as the odds are concerned, because Jacksonville State actually has been nearly unbeatable at home, riding an 8-game home winning streak, going 8-0, 8-game home winning streak there. Although they've struggled to cover the spread, they've usually been kind of favorites and not able to cover the spread, playing a lot of close games. Here they're a dog. Uh, Delaware has 4 of their last 5 have gone under here right now, but Jacksonville State's spread struggles kind of show that maybe they were just kind of overrated. Delaware showed some good defense, I think. Total is pretty high here at 57, considering that this could be kind of Delaware's game. They do mix it up well, no doubt about it. But we've seen these games average right about this many points at home for Jacksonville State. And so I think with Delaware, though, if they're going to control this game and get this win, and I think they will win. I mean, I feel like they will win this game. Maybe they'll even get this cover. I think it has to be an under for that to happen for the Blue Hens. So let's see here. Nothing from you guys in the chat. So, hey, it's going to be on me here to make the call once again. And I got to take the Blue Hens here. This is one where you should probably, to me, it feels like respect the line in this one. The fact that you have a Delaware team basically terrible at home. I mean, terrible on the road, right? But so far this season, 3-2, I think they've looked pretty good. Jacksonville State's been all right as well. But the fact that Jacksonville State nearly unbeatable at home, Delaware 2-12 the last 14 straight up on the road, and Delaware is a 3-point favorite. I'm taking Delaware -3 at Jacksonville State. Let the powers that be know more than me and take the Blue Hens. All right. All right, appreciate you guys in the chat. Just me here tonight. UTEP and Sam here in this one down in Lone Star State. Take a look at this game with Sam, another 3-point favorite, but a 10 points lower on the total here in this one, right? This is a matchup of two teams that are desperate to get some traction, is the best way I can put it. UTEP comes in 1-5 right now. Sam's lost 6 straight. They came into FBS. They had been pretty good FCS team, kind of playoff contending each year there as they were building up to their FBS debut. But home team has covered 4 straight in games involving the Bearcats. They're getting the points here at home. UTEP's road record is dismal, just 1-9 their last 10 straight up. Neither of these teams are covering anything. Each team is a 1-5 ATS this season. So despite Sam's under streak, 7 of 8 unders at home dating back to last year, I don't know. I think there could be some points here with 2 bad teams going at it. I would think it kind of lends to poor defense here and might allow the offenses to get a little something more done. The Bearcats have gone over in 5 of their last 7 overall, and the games at Sam have been definitely a little bit more high scoring than this. Defenses have kind of been allowing chunk plays, it feels like. So I think there's a chance for the offenses to kind of go and get something done here in this one, playing a subpar, each team playing a subpar opponent for sure. So I got to go over in this one with UTEP and Sam tonight. You got 1-5 and 0-6. Neither team wants to win. That makes it a little bit tough. Maybe Sam can grab a win at home. I mean, this is their best opportunity to do so right now. But I'll go ahead and take the over in this one. Figure it's the defenses that haven't been too swift with these 2 teams here so far. So Osaka was able to close out that match just now. All right, I guess that's it for the college football here on Wednesday. And with those 2 games, appreciate you guys in the chat. Here we are on Night Moves, getting ready for a 4-game NHL card next up. And yeah, y'all even having a chance here to look at some NBA preseason action. You guys in the chat, tell me what's up with you here on Wednesday. We know we've got some other action we can look at as well on Wednesday coming up. So here we go. All right, let's get into the NHL. Here on Wednesday, I got a 4-game card right now. Let me go to it. All right, here we go. All right, first up, we've got Ottawa here on the road taking on Buffalo. It's been kind of a rough start so far for both of these teams. You got Ottawa coming in at 1-2, Buffalo coming in at 0-3. So they're trying to get some early season traction too. Historically, this matchup does favor Buffalo, especially at home. 5-1 at home, the last 6 at KeyBank versus Ottawa. The Sabres offense has sputtered, no doubt, so far with just a couple of goals in the 3 games. So, but Ottawa's defensive lapses and poor goaltending so far, I guess, would suggest a possible breakout spot maybe for Buffalo here in this one. I think despite Ottawa's over trends, and Buffalo's recent games that have stayed under so far due to these low scores here. Man, at even money, I think I'm going to take. I want to take Buffalo at even money here. 2 bad teams in Buffalo to get their first win. Maybe this is the one against Ottawa. Give me Buffalo at even money here. I hope we're not dealing with 2 of the low teams in the East, but it does feel like right now that's the way it's going. I'd guess with the Sabres scoring, trying to find rhythm, they're going to need at least 3, but could be a low score, could be an under here. I'll just take Buffalo, try to take them to get their first win of the season. All right, keep it going here right now. I think we can find a better game right here with the Panthers taking on the Red Wings. That's for sure. And hey, I'm trying to get the best information here on the goalies today, and we'll hope that we get it right. But that's how we're previewing them here anyway, with Florida and Bobrovsky, and the Red Wings with Talbot here in this one. So you can have Florida favored right now, but hey, both teams have looked pretty good. You got Florida coming in here with a 3-1 record so far. You got Detroit 2-1 here. Now we know Florida's dominated this matchup. They've won 13 of the last 16 games against Detroit. Their offense is continuing to hum right now. Remember how hot they were. They were obviously to win it last year. It feels like they're just keeping the pace here right now. Detroit certainly off to that solid start, but man, the Panthers, that aggressive forechecking, great on special teams, and that's kind of what has neutralized the Wings' home ice advantage in this series recently here. So, their depth in scoring looks sharp, and Bobrovsky's been pretty solid so far. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these 2 teams have gone under here. I think Florida can probably win it. I don't know if the price is good enough to get on Florida at $1.40. I mean, Detroit has looked okay here so far. So I'm going to have to take the under here in this one. This has been an under series between these 2. I think the stats probably point the other way if you think about it, with the pace and pressure so far of Florida. But Red Wings are going to have to grind here if they're going to try to take a win. And I'm going to take under 6 goals with Florida and Detroit here on Wednesday. All right. Hey, I'd love to hear from anybody in the chat. We do got several dozen of you watching right now, and I like to interact with the chat, but that's okay. It's late night. Maybe you're cozied up in bed watching me here. So I'll just keep on rolling with the Flames coming in here and taking on the Utah Mammoth. Hey, I'm getting used to it. Utah Mammoth. I like it. And we do have Devin Cooley here going. So the Flames, of course, turn to Wolf in their back-to-back set, but we'll go with the tail end here, looks like, with Cooley in this one after yesterday's game, the 28-year-old, basically in his second year, with a 5.0 goals against last year and 87% save percentage in just 6 starts. So, look, he's going to be deployed in limited action this season for Calgary for sure, with the young Wolf able to go quite a bit. But you're still going to have to get in there at least 15 or 20 games or more, I would think, with your backup. So we'll see Cooley in here going for the Flames, I believe, up against Bezmilka for the Mammoth. So far, Calgary's kind of been a magnet for goals. It feels like they've had success against Utah as well, winning 10 of the last 14 games. But, Utah's home ice advantage pretty strong. And, man, they're laying $2 here in this one to Calgary coming in. Pretty stout for sure. Pretty big number in this one. Usually it's a high-scoring game when these two teams meet, but I don't know if it will be this time. But we'll say this, that 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone over, and more so when they played in Utah. I mean, both teams kind of feel like it's going high-scoring here a little bit, but I think with that dominant series for Utah, they might be able to take advantage here with Cooley going in net. Bezmilka so far 1-1 record with a 1.98 goals against average coming in. I'm going to take the under in this one. Give me another under here. We'll worry about that big line a little later. I'm going to do it and take the under here in this one with Calgary and Utah here on Night Moves. Nice to see Trans Canada in the chat. Thank you, Trans. I was getting worried nobody was watching. Says up here, got about 5 dozen of you watching, so pretty happy about that. It's great to have a new show here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Been here with on and off with Tony for a few years now. Feels like almost all the way back to the pandemic, anyways, or maybe the war in Ukraine. At least, but Trans says the Ducks power play screwed them there last night, but the Ducks did get that win, no doubt, against Pittsburgh in a pretty good game. Good game there last night. I know I went with the under in that one, and it turned out to be 4-3. Anaheim got that win. Man, Anaheim 10 straight wins. They're not the best team, but maybe they could just say every night they could have a little promotion and call it opening night. Anaheim's won 10 straight opening night wins at home. So it's weird that they can't get it going ever at this franchise right now. Hey, we had some winners on Night Moves, as I said yesterday, and we'll try to bring home one more with our final matchup between the Blackhawks and the Blues. Another one-sided line here for sure, with the Blues favored at -220, and total here 5.5 over at -120 here in this one. Probably have looks like Knight and Bennington. This is always St. Louis. They crush Chicago. They've won 10 of the last 11 here in St. Louis, and 15-1. Let's see. 10 of the last 11 at home versus Chicago are the Blues. So they've really dominated this series. Usually Chicago struggles against the Blues forechecking and their offensive cycles, if you will, the shifts. They just can't keep up because of the depth. St. Louis kind of geared their team just not a good matchup for Chicago. So St. Louis has started 2-1 so far. They've had some balanced scoring, look good there, and both teams kind of feel like it could be an over here with this one at 5.5. Chicago, maybe a little bit of extra offense, and I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to go over here in this one. You got Knight, 2.35 goals against. He's actually done pretty well so far. For Bennington, 3.5 goals against. He's 1-1 so far this season. So I'm going to go ahead and take the over in this one with St. Louis and Chicago tonight here in St. Louis. And I guess that's a look at the NHL here on Night Moves. All right, it's great to be with you here. Spend a little more than a half an hour with you here talking sports and sports betting on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. But with a lack of a big board, I'm going to go to the NBA preseason. Like I said, we've done pretty well, it feels like, here in the NBA preseason so far. I was able to bring home some winners there last night, as I said. and try to bring some home here right now. Let's take a look at the 4 games in the NHL and the NBA preseason on Wednesday night. And we'll start with, let's see, that's the wrong, let me get it going here, you guys. There we go. The Grizzlies will take on the Hornets, and this one's being played in Greensboro, North Carolina, with Charlotte. Technically, I would think still kind of a home team here by 1.5, and the total 236 and a half or so. The Grizzlies have been dismal here so far in the preseason. They're 0-3, losing by an average of 13.5 points per game. Charlotte's just 1-2, but at least they've shown some scoring flashes here at home, and maybe this crowd in Greensboro will know that they're supposed to root at least for Charlotte. In this one, Memphis obviously searching for a rhythm here. They've been in a bench-heavy rotation this preseason, trying to get some experience for some of the other guys. We know that kind of top-heavy team sometimes with Memphis, so I'd expect that the Hornets and there's athletic guys that they have on the wing can get to the spots that they need to be and push the tempo here a little bit. The Grizzlies are allowing 124 points per game so far this season. So I'm going to go ahead and take Charlotte here in a game being played in Greensboro. I think they can handle this one and get the win. And they're laying 1.5, but that's all right. We'll do it. All right. Next up, the Raptors are taking on the Celtics here. I think we've seen this matchup already, but right now, as it stands this season, both teams have been among the best in the preseason so far. Toronto did get blown out one game, but the other 3 they won, and they're 3-1 so far, and they've been pretty balanced. Boston 2-1. They've won a couple of games pretty comfortably. They've kind of blown out teams and then rested their key starters, so their starters are ready to go here. So maybe you could do first half with Boston the way they're going and at home here. But the Raptors' depth has it's been impressive. Their second unit been keeping the margins tight, and they've been a little bit clutch too. So Toronto's defense has held opponents to just under 113 points per game here in the preseason, but Boston's been dominant offensively. But I would expect here, even at home, I think the Celtics may end up pulling back on the minutes here a little bit. I would expect the coaches to use some extended rotations. I think this will be a more controlled tune-up here, actually, between these two. And I'm going to take the under in this one with Toronto and Boston here on Wednesday. All right, and I've got 2 more going now, and we're going to go on to the West Coast with the Clippers taking on the Kings. And the Clippers are favored. Whoa. Well, hopefully we got all. You've been there. You guys have been there. Let's see if I can pull this off here with my previews here with the Clippers and the Kings. At least I have the picks ready to go. So I know the Clippers are 1-1. They blew out Guangzhou, I think, right? And they've looked pretty sharp so far, especially when the starters are in there. They really have looked good. I don't know how their on-court problems are going to affect them this year. Sacramento is 0-2. They played some close games, but they're not playing very well defensively. They're allowed, let's see here, 127 points. Even I can figure that out with 2 games. I would think that for the Clippers here, they're just kind of getting it ready to go to the regular season with the Clippers bench. Maybe they've outperformed expectations so far. The Kings have emphasized offense in the preseason, but typical of their form, they kind of can't get stopped. So I think both teams are going to play with a little bit of pace here in this one, and Sacramento's had some defensive woes. Clippers might be able to actually get this one here, but I'm going to go ahead and take the over here at 227. I think that looks pretty good, actually. And give me the over with the Clippers and the Kings. I don't think Mr. Script Computer is going to reboot in time. So let me go to the last one here with the Mavericks and the Lakers. And the Mavericks are favored by 4.5. So I guess Luka probably not going to play. This one's in Vegas, by the way. So we'll see. They talked about Luka, made his debut last night, played the first, played it there, and they got off to a sharp lead. Remember, we said, the Lakers were 1-point favorite, 1.5-point favorites, and then the word came out Luka was going to make his debut, and then all of a sudden the Lakers, I think they ended up going off in that game as a 7-point favorite. Phoenix kind of dominated the second half, erased the first half lead, went right on by. DeAndre couldn't have scripted it any better. I said go under in that game as well, and that's what it did. So I wonder if we'll see kind of a repeat a little bit here with Dallas, and we'll see, right? If I'm Luka, do I want to play here against Dallas? It is in Las Vegas. I don't know how that works out, but it is also a back-to-back. No reason to play a preseason back-to-backer, but we don't really have the full details, so just have to make the play based on the best information that we have here. You have Dallas 2-1, and look, they've been quietly efficient here in the preseason. It looks like they're ready to go. The Lakers, meanwhile, they've had some struggles for sure, but I don't know if even the Vegas energy can bring it out here in this one. The Lakers have had big-time offensive issues in the preseason. That's a fact, and it's not going to get any easier without James once the regular season gets going here. So I think Dallas will dominate probably in this one, and I think they'll probably end up rolling the Lakers here, especially after playing yesterday in Phoenix. So I got to take Dallas and lay the points. We already kind of said we're fading the Lakers, and I don't want to put a broad brush on it because, like I said, we did see the one game where the Lakers went from a 1.5 to 3.5 point favorite, and they end up cruising in that game. But hey, it's preseason, and we want to make a few plays and throw a few dollars on watch some basketball. So I'm going to take Dallas here in this one. All right, I guess that's going to do it here for me on Night Moves here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I'd like to thank everyone for joining me here for the previews on Wednesday, and I'll be back tomorrow night here on Night Moves. Look at Thursday action. We're going to start to ramp up that football. We know we've got a great card, including NFL action here on Thursday, though college football, of course, Major League Baseball, NHL, NBA, and we'll have a great weekend as well coming up. It's going to be an awesome football weekend, more as well with the Major League Baseball playoffs and big weekend at college football. So make sure you're joining me here each night on Night Moves on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Remember, you can go over to Tony'sPicks.com and check me out. Hey, like I said, I got a 3-pack. If you're watching live, I got a 3-pack in tennis here tonight. If you're staying up late and like tennis action, maybe don't know on these 3 critical matches that I have here, maybe you can check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Have a 3-pack up there right now for these 3 overnight matches here. You're going to want to check me out here with a 3-pack of ATP matches that come up in just a short time. So check it out over at Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout and save 15% off those premium play packages. Get my ATP pack here for this middle of the night action that goes off in about 90 minutes. Sometimes there's some delays, but you want to get on this. So check me out and get my other plays over at Tony'sPicks.com. All right, thanks to everyone in the chat tonight and everyone watching here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Really appreciate you guys joining me, and I'll be back tomorrow here with more Night Moves. All right, for Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.